New developments today in the search for a missing 11-year-old North Carolina girl. We've learned police seized phone records and data from Madalina Cojocari's mother and stepfather's phones. Madalina was last seen getting off her school bus. This is the video, but it's from back in November. Her mother and stepfather waited 3 weeks to report her missing and now face charges and are in custody for that. Derek Dellinger from our Charlotte affiliate WJZY has been following this story from the beginning. Derek, thank you so much for joining us again. What do these warrants give us a better idea of, what investigators think may have happened to Madalina?
Well, it gives us better context. That is really the important thing. And it gives us a better timeline, too. More specifically, around December 15th, when Madalina was finally reported missing, that is when police started initiating some of these search warrants, specifically for the cell phone records and also here at the home. We are actually outside the Cojocari home now. As far as the cell phone records, let's get to those first. Specifically, they were looking for GPS data. They wanted to know where those phones specifically were. They wanted to know where the people were. In addition to that, they want to know who they called and texted. As far as what came from the home, though, that's the really interesting thing. So a lot of the information is redacted out. They have not exactly said what they did get out of the home. However, we do know what they were looking for. More specifically, it was a wide net. They were looking for a little bit of everything. They were looking for everything from documents to handguns, any type of weapons, even blood.
All right, so Derek, one of the warrants also indicates they were looking for evidence of a kidnapping. Do we know anything more about that possible angle?
Well, that's a significant thing that actually came as a result of the warrants that came out today. Now, we can't necessarily consider this too terribly unusual because that's what they were looking for. Just because that they were looking for that doesn't necessarily mean they found that. And it's worth noting that the parents right now, they are just charged with failure to file a report on the disappearance of a child. They haven't been charged with anything else yet, and it's important to note when they were looking for that, this was late last month, that they haven't been charged with that yet, so there's no indication as to whether or not they actually have any evidence of it just yet.
All right, so no indication there. We do know, however, Madalina's stepfather, he made a trip to Michigan around the time she went missing. We also know now that her mother also left the area around that time. So how is that information playing into this investigation?
Well, she went missing, or she actually left the area. She went to the area around the time Madalina went missing. The specific area that they were looking for specifically is in western North Carolina, about 3 hours west of where we are right now. Now, as far as what she did, that's still a big consideration. Police and sheriff's deputies in that part of the state, they're actually asking people, hey, if you saw her car, if you saw a woman who looked a lot like her, they want you to come forward. They want you to say exactly what you saw her do. And there's an indication here that she may have been with Madalina. She may not have been with Madalina. That's something that authorities want answered, and they haven't been able to get that answered just yet. It's also worth noting here because they have been charged with failure to file a report on the disappearance of a child that they eventually did file this. As we mentioned this, it took them 3 weeks, but because they waited 3 weeks, that's why they're being charged. But that 3-week period is where Madalina Cojocari, Madalina's mother, went missing and apparently went to the mountains of western North Carolina.
And Derek, before we go, are both of them still in custody, correct?
Yes, they are still in custody, both charged with failure to file a report on the disappearance of a child. Diana Cojocari's been she's on a $250,000 bail. Christopher Palmer, the stepfather, he's on a $200,000 bail. They have not made bail yet, and if they do make bail, they have to give up their passports because Diana Cojocari, she is from Moldova. They are worried that she might be a flight risk, and Christopher Palmer has to also submit to an ankle monitor.
All right, Derek, excellent update there. Thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.